before we get into some great ways to increase our hydration, I just want to sort of go over a little bit of the signs of dehydration. Have you ever really had a day where, for no good reason, you seem to be extra thirsty or tired and sluggish, possibly even a bit cranky and had a headache that just kind of doesn't go away? Well, all of these things can be signs of dehydration. It could even lead to things like dizziness and confusion, and possibly, if there's a cause for concern, something like heat exhaustion or being sick with a fever and having other illnesses going on can easily run you the risk of having dehydration. So it's often at fault that we don't realize seeing some of the simple signs. Maybe your lips are just dry and you need to just grab a drink real quick to make sure you're staying properly hydrated. The water in our bodies make up over half of our body weight. I think we've all heard this before, and it's really important to know that we can survive. We can't survive more than a few days without the water that we're needed to replenish the fluids in our body. So not only is it just for hydrating and drinking, it actually helps aid in digestion. Most of our blood is actually made up of water also, keeping our sweat and saliva levels good so that when we do need to sweat, if you're in a situation where your body is getting overheated, you need to be able to sweat. Not being able to sweat is very dangerous and can turn into that heat exhaustion. It also aids making sure that we're having enough water in our bodies in circulation and your lymph transport throughout your body as well. It helps regulate your body temperature and also keeping all of your tissues moist. So it's important to make sure that you're getting enough water for what you need. Roughly speaking, we're talking 6 to 8 cups a day. It really does depend on the person, and it depends on your activity level as well as your climate, whether it's a hot climate or a cold climate. But I often find a lot of people don't hydrate as well in the wintertime because they're cold, and they think water as being a cold option. But things like tea, decaf tea, and coffee are great options as well if you need something warm. But you can also get hydration in some of your foods and making sure that you're keeping up on fruits and vegetables that have a lot of water in them, like watermelon, apples, things like that. And also just having soup if you're in a colder type of environment and you want to stay warm. So it's important to make sure that you're staying hydrated. And also, if you're working out and having options for that, make sure you hydrate before your workout as well as during and post workout. Again, some of your options to add water and hydration into your diet would be to make sure that you include things like low fat or skim milk. You can use some seltzers that are just a carbonated water in some way. 100% juice is what we would look for if you're going to go the juice aspect of things. And as I mentioned, some of the fruits and vegetables and coffees and teas can also help hydrate you. We're always looking to limit some of those high caloric sugary drinks. They often carry a lot of high fructose corn syrup, lots of sugar, and artificial sweeteners. So we're looking to keep those to a minimum. Sports drinks are truly really just that. They're for when you're playing sports or overexerting yourself. They may replenish your electrolytes that you're probably losing because you're sweating excessively. But they really shouldn't be used on a normal daily activity because they really have a lot of sugar in them. Also, sodas and beverages like that. And as I mentioned, making sure you're drinking juice limited as well, but make sure when you are drinking it, it's 100% juice. But there's always ways to be creative with water, so it's not plain and boring. I'm not huge on too much plain, boring water. I like to have my water throughout the day, but then also like to spruce it up a little bit. Maybe taking different fruits and vegetables, adding cucumber or even the rinds of an orange to your water helps add a little bit of flavor to it. You can even make like a little spritzer and add in some seltzer, maybe with a little bit of juice, and get hydrated that way as well. There's plenty of foods as well that help maintain your hydration. You're looking to make sure you're getting a lot of your vitamins and minerals in those foods that we need, keeping a very colorful diet with a lot of plant-based options, and making sure you're getting the calories you need from those complex carbohydrates that digest a little slower so that you have the energy you need throughout the day. You can always make a smoothie or something like that and incorporate a lot of different ingredients into your smoothie to make sure that you're getting some grains. You can throw some granola in it. You can put a handful of spinach in it to get your greens. You can do low-fat yogurt and get that calcium you might need. And it can be a really well-balanced option as well. So it's important to just make sure that you're maintaining your hydration. It doesn't always have to be just through your water intake, but make sure you're keeping it up throughout the year, not just in those warm months when you think you're sweating so much. So Always be sure you're having maybe a drink with you and drink when you're thirsty, not when you're over thirsty. So you just take sips throughout the day. Hydration is really important for your whole body wellness.